It's almost here, isn't it? I don't need to tell you to get excited, do I? The fight that we have waited so long for. Tyson Fury against Oleksandr Usyk. And on Saturday night, hopefully, we will have a new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
The last mega fight of the 20th century, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Every Lewis punch being cheered, soccer style, by the British fans here. Crowd are on their feet all around this arena. It is over. This is how good boxing can be.
And the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Say it and believe it. Britain has an undisputed world heavyweight champion for the first time this century in the last fight of the century.
Everybody wants to lose.
We've got the biggest fight of the 21st century taking place. It's never happened before, 4 belts on the line, and we're going to find out who the best heavyweight in the world is.
It's been 24 years since we had a last undisputed world heavyweight champion. So we've been chosen, and I believe we're both destined to be here. I'm destined to cement my legacy as the #1 fighter of this era.
It's fate. No, too much is on the line.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
It's simply history.
I can't wait.
The stage is set in Saudi Arabia. On Saturday night, we will see the best versus the best as Oleksandr Usyk and this man here, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, battle it out for the ultimate prize in sport. It's been a long 25-year wait, but for these two fighters, they have their chance to write their names in the history books and be crowned undisputed heavyweight king of the world. Hi there, good to see you. There they are. All the marbles that are up for grabs on Saturday night. It is set to be one special night. Johnny Nelson, Dave Coldwell, I know you are both like kids at Christmas, Johnny.
You know what, 25 years ago, I never actually thought, I thought the politics of our game, or should I say politics of our game, would stop this from ever happening again. Now it's happening, and this is the time you've got to cherish it. This is one of those matches where it is so even, it's so well matched, there's so much at stake that the eyes of the world are on it, left, right and centre, and it's creating the divisions between family, friends, professionals, non-professionals. That's what this is about.
And as always, opinions on who's going to win, they're changing by the hour, aren't they? Dave, what is the significance of being undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
It's simply the pinnacle of our sport, you know, and the heavyweight division, it's the flagship of boxing. That's how people see things. This is for everything, you know, it's for every single belt that's available. It's the pinnacle, it can't get any bigger. It's been a really fascinating fight week, particularly, I think, in the last few days. With Tyson Fury, we are so used to seeing him, you know, the fun of the games, the sausages, the rabbits being thrown around. But we've had none of that, have we, Johnny? It's all business from him. What does that tell us, do you think?
The realisation for Tyson Fury is this. All the name calling, all the pre-fight hype and getting into your opponent's head. It has made no difference to this man that stood on his left. And he realised that this week when he got there, all the hullabaloo, everything that happened with his father, his friends and fans. Usyk is just on point. Tyson Fury is not even facing him thinking, I've got to depend on pure skills, because no matter what I say and do, I've got to somehow depend on just my skills, which makes it more nerve-wracking for him, because he gets strength at getting inside the head of his opponent.
I mean, he was having none of it, was he, yesterday? He wasn't facing Oleksandr Usyk in the face-off. But for Usyk, he won't be bothered at all, I'm sure. But for Tyson Fury, he seems to like getting in people's heads ahead of fights, and it's just not working. I've always felt, when this fight was made, I've always felt that, for me, a big edge that Fury has over everyone. And for me, his best performance and his standout performances is where he's got under the skin and inside the minds of his opponents. Vladimir Klitschko, Deontay Wilder, the biggest wins of his career where he's looked great. Both men, explosive punchers, go out there to do a job on you, hesitating, second-guessing themselves. And that's because
Fury's done the job before
Boxing
the fight.
foreplay, my friend.
Yeah. But I think
that's what it's called.
But I think with Usyk, he can't get under his skin, and for me, that's a little play on the fight. Well, how does that work? Does that make, like Johnny was saying, does that do anything back onto Fury and doubt himself?
Well, today, of course, is all about the weigh-in, and there's been plenty of talk surrounding that, particularly when it comes to Tyson Fury, because dare I say it, he looks quite lean, Johnny. I mean, these are the weights from their past 5 fights, Johnny. What can we read into that? Oleksandr Usyk, he's been pretty bang on the same for the last few fights. Has he found his optimum fighting weight?
Yes, he knows around in that 15 mark. He's got his mobility. He's like a little heavyweight. The originals, the old school, the R-Leagues, these guys were the little heavyweights, but he had the power, but he had the pace and the movement. For Tyson Fury, for the size of him, what's his best performance weight? Obviously, it wasn't the last one when he was 19 stone 12. I do think his best weight is mid-18, so I'm thinking...
He's fed around the 19 stone.
Yes, I reckon if he's about 18 stone, that's his optimum weight. I did say if he's anything below 18... he'll lose, he'll get stopped. I don't think, and because he looks amazingly slim and great condition, I don't think he will be. I'd be very surprised if he was. At 8.5 stone, that's his weight.
OK, well, we would love you to get involved at home. It's very simple. All you need to do is scan that QR code that's on your screen, get involved, have your say on who you think is going to win, and see if your mind changes just as much as ours in the studio is by the minute. Right, we are here in London having fun, but what about the guys out in Saudi? Let's get over there and join Andy Scott.
Well, the whole world will be watching the day of reckoning, the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. It's nearly here. Fraser Clark, Matthew Macklin alongside me. Matt, I talk about the whole world, but it very much feels like we're at home. The Brits have flown in.
Yeah, lots of people come in yesterday. There was he sort of definitely cranked up a few levels. I thought the atmosphere, the excitement, lots of fans cheering. Walking past a few earlier, even in our hotel, there was a few checked in. Some guys, they've been living in Thailand X amount of years, and they've flown in today for the fight. So yeah, big atmosphere now.
I just got grabbed by a few that actually made the decision to come only yesterday and jumped on the plane. Fraser Clark, it's not been without its controversies. Shock horror. We've waited 25 years, but we're arguing over the canvas. We've had a fracas between the two teams, but the tension has raised the level.
Yeah, it's just built and built and built. From Monday to now, it's chalk and cheese. There's a lot more people, a lot more energy, a lot more changed opinions and different opinions. And I think it's getting to the stage where tomorrow, I think there'll be a lot of people at home tonight deciding, you know what, can we get there in time now? Have we left it too late?
Will we see anything today on the scales that's going to change your mind, or are you ready to make your prediction?
No, I think I'm there now. I think seeing Fury at the workouts, seeing how sharp he looked, how nimble he looked. We knew he's always been nimble. He's always had good rhythm, good mover. But he looked really focused, and even the way he was just kind of shooting down at people trying to drag him into certain conversations, and he just doesn't want to get involved. He wants to stay focused, and for me, that's the important thing, that he's on it.
Ready to pick, or you want to see this final face-off?
I actually want to see a face-off today. I think that might sway my decision. I want them to look at each other so I can size them both up, see the difference. I want to see it in their eyes when they're looking at each other, see the intensity, and usually from that, it might mean nothing, but I might get something from it.
Yeah, we all do. Well, there's loads of speculation about the weights. We'll find out soon enough.
Live coverage on Sky Sports Box Office gets underway from 4 p.m. on Saturday. The fight is available to Sky residential customers in the UK and Ireland. Virgin Media and EU TV customers, please contact your operator. Go to skysports.com/box office for more information. Well, there is no denying that there's been a long road to get to this very point. There's been twists, there's been turns, there's been ups, there's been downs, but we do finally have a fight for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. Andy Clark is on hand to talk us through the story of how we got to this point.
Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk,
got a date.
Undisputed heavyweight title fight has now been rescheduled for the 18th of May.
In March 2018, Anthony Joshua beat Joseph Parker, adding the WBO to his WBA and IBF titles.
I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
The 4 belts belong to 2 men, Joshua and WBC king Deontay Wilder.
soon there will be one champion, one face, one name, and he go by the name of Deontay Wilder.
One fight, and an undisputed heavyweight champion could be crowned.
Wilder, let's go, baby! Let's go!
It has remained that way ever since. In summer 2018, Joshua versus Wilder seemed imminent, an announcement expected, but it never came. Each side blamed the other, and the two fighters went about other business. Joshua against Alexander Povetkin.
AJ rocks Wembley!
Wilder versus a resurgent Tyson Fury.
A split decision draw.
2019 brought fresh hope.
Oh!
Wilder flattened Dominic Breazeale.
Good thing come to those who wait.
2 weeks later, AJ made his US debut at Madison Square Garden. He was an overwhelming favourite, but on fight night was dramatically toppled by Andy Ruiz.
The American debut goes up in smoke. It was a thriller.
It was a first defeat for Joshua, but he rebounded, winning his titles back by the end of the year.
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
Joshua versus Wilder was still the match to be made, but early in 2020, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, altered the equation, putting Wilder to the sword in Las Vegas to become WBC champion.
The King has returned to the top of the throne.
AJ versus Fury was now the ticket. And in the summer, the world in the grip of COVID, Fury announced that a deal had been done. He and Joshua would meet once Fury had closed out his trilogy versus Wilder.
The biggest fight in British boxing history has just been agreed. Get up there, my boy!
2020 turned into 2021, and with Fury versus Wilder 3 seemingly no closer, Joshua and Fury moved on.
AJ remains on that road to undisputed.
Announcing that they would meet in August in the first heavyweight undisputed showdown for 22 years.
I cannot wait to smash Anthony Joshua on the biggest stage of all times.
But just hours after that announcement came, a US court ruled that Wilder was still entitled to a third fight with Fury.
Wilder, contract signed, you're getting smashed.
And in October, the two gave the watching world a fight for the ages, culminating in a knockout win for Fury. But by then, the dream that was Fury versus Joshua had already died at the fists of Oleksandr Usyk, who had taken AJ's titles in London 2 weeks beforehand.
Oleksandr Usyk shatters the hearts of British fans.
2022 arrived, and Fury versus Usyk was now the fight the world wanted, but the Ukrainian had to take a rematch against Joshua first, which he duly won.
And still the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
Fury, meanwhile, bided his time, selling out stadiums against Dillian White and Derek Chisora.
Come on! Where's Oleksandr Usyk, the rabbit? Hey, rabbit!
As 2023 dawned, the world had grown weary of talk of undisputed, optimism overtaken by scepticism and scorn. Fresh impetus was needed and arrived in the form of even bigger and bolder Saudi Arabian investment. Fury versus Usyk was announced for December the 23rd, the fight before Christmas.
They're knocking you out, Usyk. He ain't messing with these bums now.
But December became February, became May, and people began to wonder if Undisputed truly was cursed. It has been a long and winding road, but finally, the stage is set.
And we cannot wait. Dave, I think it's fair to say, I think we all had doubts at some point whether we'd actually even get to this point.
Do you know what? Just watching that back, you forget just how long this has all been going on for, and how many times we felt as though we were so close. I remember it got to a point where I didn't really want to talk about it because I kind of given up on it. So we're here now, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy that it's here.
Johnny, who do you think the postponement's going to favour more?
Definitely favour Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, when the fight should have happened, mentally, physically, wasn't in the right place. You hear the stories about how camp was going. He got the cut. I actually probably saved that form of Tyson Fury. This Tyson Fury has got himself in condition. This Tyson Fury is more driven. This Tyson Fury's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. So it suited him more down to the ground because Usyk had been in training camp preparing. It wouldn't suit him because you can undertrain, but if you overtrain, you've got nothing left. Usyk's been in tough camps in preparation for this. So for him...
Surely he's too smart for that, though.
Yeah, no, because if you're training for a fight, you think it's going to happen, then there's nothing you can do about it. When he gets dropped back, you've got to somehow tape it back, but not too much. So it suits Tyson Fury down to the ground.
It is going to be fascinating seeing them both on the scales today, and the weigh-in. The proceedings are just about to get started. There it is, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, where it's about to take place. Andy, Scott and the gang are ready to talk us through it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it is unbelievable, the atmosphere. It's like things have just rocketed. The tension, the atmosphere, everything is happening. Larry Holmes, Roberto Duran, Lennox Lewis have just walked in behind us. Vladimir Klitschko's just made his way through. You actually went and saw him earlier. I'm very, very jealous. I mean, I think everybody at home, look, we don't want to rub it in. I know there's a big FOMO and fear of missing out. But for you to show me that picture broke my heart, to be honest.
Unbelievable. It's like one of them, you have to pinch yourself. I've met a few of them individually before, but to have more in the same place and all so excited for this fight. Then remember, these guys have been there, they've seen it and done it, and they are literally excited and opinion split over this one.
It is about the fans. You know, these fights come around once in a blue moon, 25 years if you're counting. We've spoken to people that have come down tools, decided to come yesterday. There's people that have been grabbing you for pictures. The atmosphere now, though, it does feel like a big fight, and so it should.
Yeah, it was very slow actually at the start of the week, considering the magnitude of this fight. But last night, when the fans got here and the atmosphere, it just went up 5 levels, and tonight it's gone up again. Really feels like that massive historic event that it is now.
What are we looking for tonight? We're going to join the weigh-in pictures shortly for our undercard, but what are we looking for tonight from the two big men, Matt?
Well, I think for Fury, we're all curious to see what weight he actually does come in at. We're hearing it's going to be light, so we want to see what it actually is. I think Usyk, we're guessing, will be in and around the same that he always is. And yeah, just will we see a head-to-head tonight? Because last night Fury just didn't want to get involved. He just looked straight ahead and didn't engage with Usyk. Hopefully tonight we do.
The first Brit on the undercard that we're going to be talking about is Moses Itauma, someone you know very well.
Yeah, I've followed him since the amateurs. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable. And even now, he's not but a foot wrong as a pro. Very impressive. Spent a bit of time with him this week. He's been absolutely fantastic in the build-up. He's confident. He's got an airiness about him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on the night perform.
This is a big deal anyway, Matt, but to be doing this in Moses Itauma's shoes at just 19 years old, what an atmosphere to walk out into.
Yeah, well, look, Frank Warren, the people behind him truly believe that this guy is destined for big, big things. So you want them getting this kind of experience early on. I remember Ricky Hatton on his second pro fight, boxing on the undercard of Nassim Hamed in Madison against Madison Square Garden against Kevin Kelly. Yeah, full of praises there.
232 for Ilya Mazentchev.
So about 16 stone, 8 pounds for Ilya Mazentchev. 16 stone, 8 pounds roughly.
Yeah, you're just saying, big fight experience. Moses, he's only young, but he's moving well, and boxing on this card, he gets to soak in the atmosphere, soak in, learn.
239.1 for Moses Itauma.
So 17 stone 1 for this British heavyweight talent, Moses Itauma. 6 knockout wins in just his 8 professional fights. I grabbed Francis Warren earlier in the week, his manager. I said, what is the catch? Because everything sounds brilliant. I said, what's the weakness? What's the catch? He looked me dead in the eye. He said, there isn't one. I've heard it before, but everybody's saying it, Fraser.
Once again, definitely, you know, so far so good, and the talent speaks for itself. I'm just looking at him now, and I've followed him since his debut. The shape of him now, the way he's come on in say a year, he's doing all the right things. You can tell he must be living the life, doing the right training, because physically he looks very impressive. Compared to the debut, oh my God, don't get me wrong, he was still in good shape, but obviously I can see the changes he's made there, and that's from himself. Physically, he looks fantastic.
And you are the man to talk about this, but matching a heavyweight in the early parts of their career is very, very important. One word on Ilya Mezentchev. In terms of professional fights, 25. Okay, there's no standout names on there, really, but 21 knockouts in there. He's got to be careful, Itama, that he doesn't get caught, because Mezentchev may well be a level below, but he can still punch.
Listen, we're in the heavyweight division, and we all know anything can happen. So far, he's been matched so well, you know. I think Frank Warren has a history of matching people well and bringing through well.
He has a professional record.
But yeah, definitely, you can't take your eyes off the ball, especially it's his first title on that as well, so he'll be right on it, and I expect him to do a good job.
Way of knockout, let's welcome the current WBO Africa Super Featherweight Champion, Joshua the Wealth Machine Wahab.
So this is Joshua Oluwaseun Wahab, originally from Nigeria. He's got a decent record on paper as well. 23 wins, can punch a bit. 16 of those have come inside the distance. Just the one loss, actually, against a fellow Brit in Liam Dillon. When I say fellow Brit, I'm talking about Mark Chamberlain, who will be his opponent on the night. Mark Chamberlain enlisted as His Excellency's favourite fighter.
Undefeated with 15 wins, 11 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated former WBA Intercontinental Lightweight Champion, Mark Chamberlain.
And Mark Chamberlain, Matt, you were in the room when we were interviewing. He said he was desperate for a holiday, but the phone keeps ringing. And you said to him, what happens if the phone rings again?
Exactly. He said, oh, no, I definitely need a holiday. I said, well, don't you say how much? What fight? You know, he's moving well. Boxed really well last time.
132.1 for Joshua the Wealth Machine Wahab.
132 pounds for Joshua Oluwaseun Wahab. So 9 stone 6.
132 for Mark Chamberlain.
So just a couple of pounds extra for Mark Chamberlain, 134.2, so 9 stone 8. This looks like a good match on paper. You were here last time, Matt, when Chamberlain boxed Gavin Gwynn, and you know it was one-sided because of the enormous welt on the face of Gavin Gwynn, but Mark Chamberlain's doing everything right at the moment.
Yeah, can't fault him really. Yeah, it was unfortunate that Gwynn picked up that injury early on, but you know, take nothing away from Chamberlain. He boxed brilliantly.
Round contest for the vacant WBC Silver Lightweight Championship.
So Mark Chamberlain against Joshua Wahab is part of this undercard. More coming up after this short break. welcome back to Boulevard City here in Riyadh. It's standing room only. We've got fans from everywhere, media outlets from the four corners of the globe, and of course some of the best fighters to have ever done it. Larry Holmes, great to have him here, looking so well. Fraser Clark was rubbing shoulders with him earlier, and he's in esteemed company. We've also seen Evander Holyfield, part of the last undisputed heavyweight title fight, of course, when he took on Britain's own Lennox Lewis. Great to see both of them, and they're even sitting next to each other. They got a great round of applause yesterday at the press conference, and they will be welcomed like heroes today. We did the best we could. I ended up with Matthew Macklin and Fraser Clark, but I'm happy. I'm happy. That was some build-up. I'm sorry. Sorry. I threw you right under that bus there, Matt. Come on out and join us. We're going to become body language experts, as we always do at the weigh-in. What are you looking for from both Fury and Usyk today? We didn't get the head-to-head. We did it like this, didn't we? If you're looking at me, we did it like that. Do you think we're going to get this head-to-head today?
I'm hopeful we do. I really want it. I just want to see them look into each other's soul, you know. It might give us an indication of something. It might not. You know, at these weigh-ins, we always try, like you said, we always try to pick people's body language, but we couldn't pick anything yesterday because we didn't get too much. We got a little bit, but today, I really take things over from that stare and the intensity. So I'm hoping today we get Fury looking down at Usyk.
Do you think we will?
Like Fraser, I hope so. I'm not so sure. Fury's been very kind of trying to wrap things up quickly, isn't he, all week? Very quick with the answers.
Certainly yesterday.
Out of there, doesn't want to get involved. Not even. I think maybe he felt he got too distracted in the Ngannou fight, and because this week he's been razor focused.
The moment that you think that you know Tyson Fury is the moment that we've got it all wrong, and I think that will perhaps pay dividends on fight night. He came out and boxed southpaw for a reason in the media workout, because he knew mugs like me would be asking people like you why he did it.
Exactly. I just think he's being ultra professional. Like Matt said, you know, I was here in Ngannou week and there was a lot going on and he did everything. You know, he really did do long days. This week, like you say, he's so switched on, and not just that, it's the team as well. The team are like, you know, because you're a fighter and you want to engage with people, the media, you make relationships with the media, but this week the team says, sorry, Tyson, come on, we know you'd sit there and you'd sing and you'd dance for everyone, well guess what, we've got a job on our hands this week, a proper job, so come on, let's get to it. And I think he took it well, you know, like, you see that focus, and he might last you for a minute, but then he's straight back to it, being focused, switched on, ready for Saturday.
You gave us one of the lines of the week that what happened between Fury and Ngannou was probably the worst possible thing for Oleksandr Usyk. Just explain your thinking.
Because it gave him a kick up the backside. You know, he's now razor focused. Before he was, like Fraser said, he did a lot. He was distracted. He lost focus. He overlooked him. That ain't going to happen now. He's on it. He's, like I said, he participate, but certainly at the press conference he'd try and shout his opponents down. He hasn't wasted any energy. He's really, look, I just keep saying it, he's on it. I don't know how else to explain it. He's totally focused.
And we haven't even spent any time at all talking about the cut, which is the reason that we're here. As you see, Ryan Garcia just making his way into ringside. Caught him doing some sort of press-up routine on the stage yesterday.
Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. He is undefeated with 16 wins. 12 of his 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Robin Safar.
I would argue that this is the fight that has perhaps gone most under the radar this week. Actually, Fraser, you put it on your social media. Robin Safar and Kovalev, they were just wandering around. Nobody really even realised that they were there, but we shouldn't take our eye off this because this looks like a good fight.
I think we'll see what Kovalev's got left. Well, let's just remember what he had. You know, we're talking about someone who had it all. And we'll listen, we'll find out on Saturday if he's still got it.
Now fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA. He has a professional record consisting of 35 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 29 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey the Crusher Kovalev.
Matt, it does feel like a lifetime ago that we're ringside for the Andre Ward fights, but here we are. Sergey Kovalev takes another run at it up at Cruiserweight.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought, he would have retired now, stayed retired, and what a fantastic career he had back then when he was fighting Ward. He really was top of his game. But that's, the years fly by, don't they?
194.1 for Robin Safar.
194.1 for the Swede Robin Safar. So 13 stone 12. Here comes the Crusher.
194.2 for the former world champion, Sergey the Crusher Kovalev.
So our first look at Kovalev at Cruiserweight.
Yeah, he looks in decent shape, but he was a beast at light heavy, and again, Father Time's undefeated, Andy, and I think he's had his day really here at Cruiserweight. I don't see him really becoming a world champion.
He was one of your real favourites. I know you put a tweet out and got a lot of love for it.
I got a lot of love and I got a lot of stick. I was just trying to say that basically, once upon a time, this man was, he was like, remember when Golovkin had the error about him? He had the same sort of thing. He was devastated, and I just want to see him do well.
Tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round international cruiserweight contest.
So 10 threes between Kovalev and Safar. Can Kovalev carry that power up to Cruiserweight? He was always a big puncher, Fraser, and that will be perhaps the big question. Yep, what's he got left, but can he bring that punch power up?
They say you don't lose your power, but looking at him there compared to his opponent, you can see the considerable size difference. So I hope he can, and one thing he's definitely got is the experience.
Our next two combatants to the scale competing scheduled 12-round contest. It is a final eliminator for the WBC Heavyweight World Championship. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Bochum, Germany, undefeated with 24 wins, 16 of his 24 wins come by way of knockout. Here is the former two-time European champion, the current WBA Intercontinental and NABF heavyweight champion, and currently ranked number 3 in the world by the WBC, Agit Kabayel.
Now you know Agit Kabayel better than anybody here because you were his last sparring partner coming into this fight. What's he like?
You know what? I did a few rounds with him, just like his final couple of weeks of sparring. He's really good. Honest to God, I think underestimated might be one of the words to use with him. Very good combination puncher, coming off a great win. And speaking to him, it was the mentality I was most impressed with. He knew what was at stake coming over here to Saudi.
Fighting out of Miami, Florida, USA, he is undefeated with 24 wins. 17 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the current WBC Continental Americas and NABO heavyweight champion, and currently ranked number 2 in the world by the WBC, Frank the Cuban Flash Sanchez.
There's going to be a lot of eyes on exactly what Frank Sanchez is all about. Impressive record on paper. Everybody behind the scenes says good things about him, but he's yet to break into the mainstream despite all of his high world rankings. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, I think it is. He's even though he's well rated and everyone in the industry in boxing says he can really fight, he's relatively unknown, even though this is an eliminator for the WBC. So I am very interested to watch him.
238.5 for Agit Kabayel.
So just a nudge over 17 stone for Agit Kabayel.
$238.5 for Frank the Cuban Flash Sanchez.
So again, just over 17 stone for the Cuban, now based in Miami, Frank Sanchez. Incidentally, for Agit Kabayel, his career heaviest was against Arslanbek Makhmudov last time out. So he's taken a little bit of timber off, but not much. And it feels like a bygone era when we first had him against Derek Chisora, Matt. But he's got some momentum now.
Exactly, we know momentum's key, activity matters. We've seen it with Joseph Parker, you know, boxing regularly. Look how sharp he is, and you see guys who are inactive, they struggle to perform.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a 12-round contest. It is a final eliminator for the WBC Heavyweight World Championship.
So it's a final eliminator for the WBC World Championship. Anybody want to take that question? So what does that mean for the winner? Do they get a shot at the winner of Sunday, or they get a Saturday, or are they going to have to wait?
Well, they'll go into the mandatory position, but then it'll depend on whether or not WBC impose that mandatory and force it, stipulate a date that it has to happen by. But he will be the next person that gets the mandatory shot.
In theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a slight delay before we welcome our next contest. Obviously, heavyweights are top of the bill, but it's always good to have some heavyweight interest on the undercard. The past and the presents are all here. Ryan Garcia flew in on a private jet, actually, with Amir Khan. Would love to have been a fly on the wall for that journey. Seen Marco Antonio Barrera down here. So, whose shoes would you rather be in? We're getting closer to the fence, aren't we? You're going to have to get off it eventually. Although I think actually you've made your pick. Whose shoes would you rather be in tonight?
So I think Usyk has got it all to do. I think he's going to have to box out of his skin and better than ever before, and some. And I think Fury needs to have faded a little bit for Usyk to win. I think my money's on Fury.
First welcome from Belfast, Northern Ireland. He brings a professional record of 21 wins, just 1 defeat, 7 wins. Coming by way of knockout, here is the reigning and defending IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Anthony, the Andy Town Apache Kakachi.
He's got a confident figure all week, Matt.
Yeah, I think he feels that the pressure's all on Cadena. He says he knows him really well. He's always thought this fight was going to happen, and he just says he's injury-free, he had a great camp, and he couldn't be more confident.
He gave us that quote this fight already changes my life and my family's life. I wonder if that is pressure off. That underdog mentality sits well with some.
Yeah, definitely. Look, he's motivated, but he's not carrying a big load of pressure on him.
Undefeated as a professional with 17 wins, 9 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the two-time reigning and defending IBF Super Featherweight Champion of the World, the Welsh Wizard, Joe Cordina.
An old amateur teammate of yours, Fraser. We haven't seen too much of him this week, but again, he was calling out the big champions, but he has to stay motivated. I say the big champions, he is a champion. He was calling out the fellow champions. Can't afford to take his eye off the ball against Kakachi because those unifications go up in smoke.
Absolutely, and I'm sure, knowing Joe, you know, he's right on the job, switched on and focused. I've only seen him a couple of times, but he looks in great condition.
The Andy Town Apache, Kakachi.
So that super featherweight limit of 9 stone 4, Kakachi nicely inside, tucked just under.
130 pounds even for the Welsh Wizard, Joe Cordina.
And bang on the limit, Matt, for Joe Cordina.
Yeah, I can't wait for this fight. It wouldn't shock me, you know, if Kakachi sprung the upset here. You know, Cordina's been at that level. He's had fights to come down and then get up for this fight with Kakachi. Kakachi's bang up for it.
But we know Joe Cordina.
It will be for both the IBF and IBO Super Featherweight Championships of the world.
Yeah, we know Joe Cordina. We know he can punch. We know he can fight. Never lost his title in the ring either. He was a victim of injury, but came back against Rakhimov in an incredible Fight of the Year contender.
All right, I'm here with Anthony. You're fighting for a world title on the grandest stage of them all. How have you managed to stay grounded this week?
Listen here, I'm just very excited to be here.
Okay, let's hear from Anthony Kakachi now.
Sure, you know your world title on the grandest stage of them all. How have you managed to stay grounded this week?
Listen here, I'm just very excited to be here and just doing my usual thing, mate. I'm used to this type of thing, so I'm buzzing. I'm just buzzing to be here.
I'm sure you know your opponent very well. What specifically do you have to do to win this fight?
Listen, I'm just here to fight. I know he's a very good operator. He's slick, he's very fast, but I'm here to do the damage.
Hey, we've also got Wales versus Northern Ireland. What's your message to your fans back home right now?
Big shout out Belfast, everyone home in Belfast, Andy Town. Appreciate you all.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
More prepared than I've ever been for a fight, so.
Title fights?
Yeah, obviously I've had 2 camps back to back, so it's been a long time coming. I'm just glad I'm here now. I came out 3 weeks ago, more prepared than I've ever been for a fight. So yeah, I'm looking good, looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get in there.
Now you own the longest running unbeaten record by a current professional fighter from Wales. You'll be looking to extend that record. Just try and sum up what that means, getting the win and defending your belt.
Yeah, of course. I'm just trying to do me, keep winning, keep moving forward, and keep carrying the flag of Wales on my back. So yeah, as long as I keep winning, everyone follow behind.
One day out from the fight, any final message for Anthony Kakachi and all the fans who are behind you?
Nah, he knows what's coming. Like he said, he's going to bring it. I'm going to bring it. We meet in the middle of the ring, and we'll deal with it.
Final message to the fans?
Thank you very much, and just keep supporting, and just keep an eye out because it's going to be electric.
Best of luck, Joe.
Thank you.
In that knockout win over Kenichi Ogawa, when you produce a knockout like that, I just wonder if there's pressure to repeat it each and every time.
Yeah, possibly, but also, you know, he was bang up for that fight with his world title shot. Then on the back of that, he has that fight with Rakimov, one of the fights of the year. You know, then if he's tired of weight, come in bang on. If he struggles to get up for Kakachi boxes out of his skin, you know, we could really have a fight on our hands here.
You know him so well from the amateur days. His mentality coming into it, if I just skip back a chapter and say, you know, if you're not up for this, that's where things go wrong. How do you guard against complacently, and does he have those traits? As we just catch a shot there of Roberto Duran, one of the greats. Great to have him here. And on Cordina's mentality, he's made of the right stuff, presumably, and been drummed into him from those amateur days.
100%, but them big names we spoke about before, and they're the people he wants to be fighting. He's got to see it as, if you don't get through this, that's not coming. And I know Joe, and I know what he's about. He's definitely someone that won't be overlooking his opponent. He's won the world title, but now he wants to make himself into a superstar in Wales, and he gets that by winning this or going on to the big fights.
It will be for the vacant IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Riga, Latvia. He has a professional record of 28 wins, 2 defeats, 20 of his 28 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former 3-time Cruiserweight World Champion, Mairis Briedis.
Well, he's a former champion, but he is surely in the running for the hardest man in this arena. He is chiseled out of rock, Mairis Briedis.
Yeah, hard as nails, but you know, he hasn't boxed in 2 years, and I think that inactivity is going to hurt him.
Nissa Sauerland, part of his promotional team, stopped me yesterday and he said if Briedis has anything left, he'll win this.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. You know, he certainly looked good in the gym. When we've seen him there, he's full of life, full of energy, and he's been a character all week. We'll see what the scales are saying.
2012 Olympian, now undefeated as a professional with 24 wins, 19 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the current Ring Magazine champion and the undefeated former IBF Cruiserweight World Champion, Jai Opetaia.
Well, if Briedis is in the running for the hardest man in the room, Opetaia is in the running for the most intense.
Definitely, but I like that intensity, and he's not a massive cruiserweight, but he's a brilliant mover, very fluid, and he can bank.
$199.1 for Mairis Briedis.
199.1 for the former champion. So tucked inside that 14.4 cruiserweight limit, just a pound under, 14.3.
191 for Jai Opetaia.
So a pound lighter than Briedis. Jai Opetaia, 198.1, 14 stone 2. I think this is the sleeper on the card, you know. What a fight the first one was.
Yeah, I'm predicting fight the night, I really am.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night in a scheduled 12-round contest for the vacant IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World.
Opetaia looks ready to go now, you know, and he's looked like that all week. This one really could heat up. Briedis, like you said before, if Briedis has anything left and he shows it, this one will turn into the fight of the night.
And there's a nod to you. When you share 12 brutal rounds with somebody, you earn their respect.
Definitely. So, you know, I think they're both committed to respecting each other, and they know if they turn up at the best, it's going to be a hard task for either one of them to get the victory.
Okay, so it looks like both fighters are ready for their interviews. Looks like Briedis is ready to go now, jumping up and down. Let's hear from, I think it's going to be the champion, Jai Opetaia, first. I think he is up on stage, and he will be talking to Ali Drew.
Jai, final face-off before the fight tomorrow night. Do you take anything from that?
I'm ready to go. I've been ready for a long time.
The last fight, we saw a broken nose, we saw a jaw broken in 2 places. How grueling is tomorrow night going to be?
If I've got to break my jaw again or win, so be it. Winning is a must.
Eddie, let's bring you in. I mean, the first fight, the fans loved it. It certainly delivered. Do you think it's going to steal the show tomorrow night?
Yeah, you're going to see one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world tomorrow night in Jai Opetaia. You're also going to see the difference what 2 years has done. From becoming a champion to 2 explosive defences. This guy's the real deal. The fans are in for a treat. Jai Opetaia tomorrow night by destruction.
And you have said you don't see it going the distance. Sticking to that?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Jai will do it any means necessary. I believe he wins the fight by knockout.
Brilliant. Best of luck, Jai.
All right, I'm here with Marius Briedis. You don't need me to tell you how brutal that first encounter was. How physical do you think this rematch is going to be?
I think that it will be 100%. We saw how good shape we are, and yeah, it will be a great fight, tough, great fight.
Many people believe this is do or die for you, considering at this stage of your career. How much pressure are you feeling right now?
Right words to say, win or die.
Win or die. Yeah. You broke his jaw in 2 places last time. What do you think it's going to take to slow this big man down?
We will see how strong he is mentally and physically. We saw he's very strong, and that's why we come here for till the 2 years when it's happened.
Can't wait to see it. Good luck to you. Marius Briedis, everybody.
Weigh in for the undisputed heavyweight title.
When I was walking in London, I was walking with my feet on the field. I was walking in London, and man, you know how I feel. I want Klitschko next.
The new unified heavyweight champion of the world,
and I don't want to miss a thing.
Tyson Fury every time a lot of speak.
I already relieved one Ukrainian of all the belts.
I more speak in the ring.
I don't want to close my eyes.
We're going to see who's the best.
The first undisputed world heavyweight champion of this century will be crowned.
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run.
Enough?
Well, welcome back to the weigh-in in Boulevard City, Riyadh. Standing room only, and we have got fans from everywhere. I've seen so many British flags. We've got Ukrainians here as well, and of course, some of the best fighters to ever do it. Larry Holmes, arguably still got the best jab in boxing. Came on the ringside set a few years ago and was popping it out like he was back in his pomp. What a fighter. Probably got the biggest reception, Ryan Garcia. He's been in with the fans, he's been shadow boxing and everything else in between. Ryan Garcia. And then Vladimir Klitschko, a mentor in many ways to Oleksandr Usyk, and of course was dethroned by Tyson Fury. And then the hands of stone, Roberto Duran. He's had his health issues, but it's great to see him looking so well, and tremendous to have him in attendance. And then of course the last two fighters to contest the undisputed heavyweight title, Evander Holyfield and our very own Lennox Lewis. They got a tremendous reception from all of the fans here. It is great seeing them looking so well. They look like they could still do it, and that is a testament to both of them, Lewis and Holyfield, Matt.
Oh, listen, two legends of the sport. Me and you had to grow up in the the 90s, watching boxing, staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They're unbelievable fighters, and what two great fights they had.
Yeah, if you talk about two great characters, I can't think of anyone bigger in modern boxing than Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, for two completely different reasons.
Exactly, with Usyk and with Fury, we don't just get the drama in the ring, we get the dancing, the singing. Tyson takes to Instagram, and he's just hilarious, with Usyk as well. He's such an ambassador for his country. I think it just warms the heart of people. It's hard to not like him.
Yeah, he's actually received hundreds of messages from friends and soldiers actually on the front line. And that is a pretty big title, isn't it? A beacon of hope for people back home in Ukraine. Let me just ask you, Matt, Oleksandr Usyk, his career at heavyweight, those weights have been very, very consistent. It would be a big surprise tonight if he made a change and came in much, much heavier.
Yeah, I'd be shocked. Look, movement, mobility, that's a massive part of Usyk's game, his fitness, his conditioning. So you don't want to be carrying unnecessary weight. It's not going to be a physical fight with Fury. He doesn't want it to be a physical fight. He needs to be on the move, in and out, get his shots off and go. So I'd imagine he'll be pretty much where he's always been.
Well, we got Greg Marriott yesterday, nutritionist, strength and conditioner for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said early in the week, didn't he? 19 stone there or thereabouts. Greg Marriott said he thinks actually south of 19 stone. What do you think? It's almost impossible to judge just by looking at him, but there can be no denying he looks lighter, or certainly more toned than when he fought Ngannou.
He's definitely in better shape. There's no doubt about it. He looks fantastic looking at him. We've seen him, I think, in his vest. So that's as far as we've seen him. And if I'm looking at him there, I thought about 19 stone, maybe even a little bit over. But if Greg Marriott's hand is under, then I'm thinking, is that really geared towards a game plan? He's going to do something we don't think he's going to do. Is he going to be moving, or is he going to go direct to Oleksandr Usyk and try and put him in his place? I'm not sure.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that? What might Fury do? Take the whole southpaw pads out of it, but do you think that Tyson Fury will try to be the aggressor, or do you think that actually he'll try to be the boxer and almost let Usyk come to him?
No, I think he'll take the fight to Usyk. I think he'll take the centre of the ring and he'll push him back. I think Usyk will have to get on his bike. As the fight unfolds, it might be in and out and it'll go where it goes, but I think he'll take the centre of the ring and he'll look to boss everything.
Would you say, it's fair to say, and I hate putting words in your mouth, but Oleksandr Usyk is someone that seems to know his game inside out, be it at cruiserweight or at heavyweight. He always seems to be in control of what he's doing.
Yeah, he does, and that's just the signs of a great fighter, He wants to use his advantages to the best of his ability. Now, if your opponent lets you do that, then amazing. I can't see Tyson letting Usyk have his own way. So, is he good enough? Well, we know he's good enough. Can he physically use his advantages on Tyson? Can he use that speed? Can he come in and out? Can he not get tangled up by Tyson? It's going to become, I think it'll become apparent very early, but I don't think he's going to run. I didn't see him as a runner against Andy Joshua. I think he's more subtle with the movement, but he's never in one place for more than a couple of seconds. He moves. He don't let you set him up, which Tyson Fury is going to try and do.
And just before we see the fighters come out and make their way onto stage, I'm looking over my shoulder because the stage has got so many people on it, and with two big fighters, you have two big entourages. As I welcome our viewers on Sky Sports News. Great to have you with us here in Riyadh, live for the weigh-in between Fury and Usyk. Yeah, two big entourages. A lot of tension, boiled over earlier in the week. I think we have moved on from that. The one thing we don't want up there is any of the last few hiccups. We've waited 25 years. We don't want any heads or cuts or anything. Have I just jinxed it? I hope not.
No, well, look, we didn't even get a face-off yesterday, so hopefully we don't get any drama tonight.
Do you think that Tyson Fury will do what he did in that first face-off, if he even chooses to look at Usyk? But that first face-off, when the two met, when the fight was announced, and we had Sylvester Stallone, we had Rocky in between the two. I know you love a Rocky quote. Fury had the eye of the tiger, didn't he? But he almost tried to put a bit of manners on Usyk at that first head-to-head and use his size.
I don't think for 1 second I should go trying to second-guess Tyson Fury. As much as you don't know and I don't know, he probably hasn't decided what he's going to do yet. He's a man that's going with the flow. It looks like he's enjoying himself. If he feels like he's doing a stare down, I'm sure we'll get an intense one. If not, he might even just walk off the stage after being on the scales. We don't know. It's Tyson Fury.
Welcome to
Let's get over to Michael Buffer.
Here in Riyadh, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the official weigh-in for the main event of Ring of Fire. It's a presentation by Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Bob Arum for Top Rank Boxing in conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Events Center, the General Entertainment Authority, Gold Star Promotions, K2 Promotions, and Sella. This contest we'll see tomorrow night is sanctioned by the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, and IBO, and on the line, the ring and lineal titles. Now for this event, ladies and gentlemen, a very special thank you to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the official weigh-in for undefeated champion versus undefeated champion. It's all at the Kingdom Arena, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It'll be 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Let's bring the warriors to the stage and to the scales. First, an Olympic gold medal champion. Now, as a professional, 21 fights, 21 victories, 14 wins by knockout. He's the former undisputed and undefeated Cruiserweight champion of the world. From Ukraine, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBA, WBO, IBF, IBO, heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk.
So many questioned whether he could be effective and successful at heavyweight. He had already done it at Cruiserweight to become undisputed. If you'd have rewound 4 or 5 years, Fraser, and I'd have asked you who will be the two heavyweights contesting undisputed, I think very few would have picked Oleksandr Usyk. But here we are, and that shows just how good he is.
He's good enough. He proved it at Cruiserweight. A different task in front of him, though. A massively different task in front of him. But look, he's not put a foot wrong so far. We've loved watching him. We've enjoyed watching him. And I think as he's coming to this fight, not the favourite, I feel like he's got something to prove. And he's going to do everything he can to do that come Saturday night.
It is a slow, menacing, purposeful walk to the weigh-in scales. The Ukrainian former Olympic gold medalist, former undisputed Cruiserweight champion.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from the United Kingdom, the two-time world champion, holder of the ring and lineal championships, and recognized as the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Well, from Morecambe, England to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the furious one, the WBC lineal heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. I know he's been a little bit more subdued in the last 24 hours, but put yourself inside the mind of Tyson Fury. This is exactly what he loves. The fanfare, the entertainment, and the brightest of lights.
He lives for this. He lives for it. And all week he's been, like you say, very low-key. He's been quick to brush off interviews. He wants to get them done and dusted ASAP. He wants to just remain totally focused, but you cannot get swept with his... look, no top on. You know, he's a character. He's not just a great fighter. He's a great character.
First on the scales will be the champion from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk.
As a heavyweight, have been very, very consistent. Joshua the first time, Joshua the rematch, and Daniel Dubois all around 15 stone 11. Let's listen in.
Champion Oleksandr Usyk.
That is probably a shock. 233 pounds. That is 16 stone 9.
WBC champion, lineal champion, ring champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. For Tyson Fury.
I ain't stopping till I'm dead because I'm a heavyweight.
So 262 pounds for Tyson Fury, 18 stone 10.
It's a good weight for Fury, a really good weight, I think, especially for this fight with Usyk.
It all goes down tomorrow night at the Kingdom Arena here in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Will we get a head-to-head? Will Tyson Fury engage? Yes, he will. There are a lot of people up on that stage.
background, and there are fireworks in the foreground. There's a lot of energy between both camps. We do not want to see anything spill over at this late stage. We will have lots more reaction, and I'm sure we will pick this to pieces. Look at Tyson Fury. He is absolutely ready to go, and that's perhaps what we thought we would get earlier in the week. And now the fans are up and into him as well. Okay, plenty more reaction after this short commercial break.
Welcome back. Well, we have just seen Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk step on the scales and face off for the final time. A very different face-off, wasn't it, than the one we saw at the press conference yesterday. It got a little bit spicy, emotions running high before the big fight tomorrow night. Really, really fascinating weigh-in it was as well. Let's just get stuck into it then. Oleksandr Usyk, 16 stone, 9.5. Johnny, you're having none of it.
I'm not having it. I saw him walk out there with the jeans. I said, he's got jeans on. Big chain round his neck. Oldest trick in the book. I remember boxing for the European title, 19, whatever it was. And Brendan, I was too light, so he made me have food in my mouth, and he had his hands on the back of my tracky bottom, so I weighed heavier. Usyk has walked in with jeans on. I reckon he's about Probably about, I don't know, he's 16 and a half, early 16.
So you think this is all the game playing?
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's not that heavy. He doesn't even look that heavy.
But even if he's 16 something, I think that's big. That's big for him. You know, what does that tell you he's going to do?
Well, Tyson Fury, 18 stone, 10 and a half. We all were saying, weren't we, he was going to come in around 19 stone or slightly under. Where do you think that sits for him in terms of fighting weight? Is that a good weight for him?
That's a good weight for him. He's still got a bit of a dad bod, but that's a good weight for him. He's a big guy, big unit, carries himself around. Sorry for calling him a dad bod, but he carries him around. But he's still got the.
I mean, I could say speak for yourself, but there we go.
but so he'll be strong at the weight and carry it well. Now that the games are over, Tyson Fury yesterday blanked him. He didn't want to look at him today. Dave, you called it. He said, I bet he switches on him today. Switches on him. Usyk, look at that wry smile on his face, thinking, I've got your number. Step back, didn't get involved. He's the one that's going in his head.
What about the argy-bargy at the end? I mean, we've been talking about whether we were going to see that. We were talking backstage, weren't we? And I even said, I don't think they will. I think it'll be the same. I think Fury will have none of it, but quite the opposite.
I knew he was going to flick today. Yesterday, all week, everything is just that calm demeanour. Not going to play any games. This is the last moment that he's got to get into Oleksandr Usyk's head. It's the last memory he'll have as a face-to-face. Tyson Fury, last-minute Jedi mind tricks, that's what he's going for.
Whether it will get to him or not?
I don't think so.
No, well, we can hear from Oleksandr Usyk now.
All right, I'm here with Oleksandr Usyk, ladies and gentlemen. Things have calmed down a little bit. It got rough and tumble. What did you just say to Tyson Fury?
Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone tomorrow.
You told everyone that your father was your inspiration growing up. If he were here right now, before the biggest fight of your life, what advice do you think your dad would give you?
Son, you can.
Well, we're 24 hours away from the biggest fight of your life. How have you managed to stay so calm before what is sure to be an unbelievable fight?
Because it's my plan. If I will be nervous, I not win.
What is your message to the fans watching you around the world, especially those in your war-torn country of the Ukraine?
My fans, I love you. See you tomorrow.
Give it up, everybody. Oleksandr Usyk.
Good to hear from Oleksandr Usyk there. Well, this was Tyson Fury. We were hoping to hear from him in an interview, but there were a fair few profanities, so we won't be hearing from him, and he got a little bit overexcited and didn't want to speak to anyone. He's all on him, eyes on the fight night now for him.
It is, and again, that's the last time he can make any kind of impression. I don't think he got the response he wanted. I think it's contained in his own nervous energy.
How will that affect him, though? It'll
affect him because, again, part of his strength, part of his armour is that post-fight wind-up, drain getting into his opponent's head. It's flipped itself over. Now he's got to really rile himself up. And we know Tyson Fury is the kind of guy that wears his heart on his sleeve.
Well, he thrives under the madness as well, doesn't he?
Exactly. So now, that team that are around him, they need to have a great understanding and the nature of this beast to get the best out of him, to channel that into the rings Saturday night, because he can fall one way or the other when it comes to the fight Saturday night.
After what we've seen just there, who has the upper hand at this stage?
This is how I see things when it kicks off at weigh-ins. They've got 24, 30 hours until they fight. The right people around you, your own mindset, these are two are elite mentalities, got to be doing what they're doing. They're going to calm down, settle, refocus, get back on the game plan. It comes to when the bell goes, whose mind is in the right frame of mind, and then who's the best. All the thing that goes off here now, yes, you'll be emotionally charged right now, but you've got hours to be able to settle yourself back down.
Dave, the key word is having the right people around you. to steady you up.
Yeah, but Fury's always kicked off and stuff like that, and then he's gone out there and performed.
But this is high stakes now.
I know it.
This is high stakes, and now you're running against somebody you can't read. Even Bob Arum, his old man, said, I ain't sure about this, but this is a tough one.
But Fury has been saying that he's just treating this like any other fight. Are you buying that?
No, not in a million years. You look at him. He's never looked so good. So he's not treating it like any other fight. Look at his behaviour up to this point, how it's flipped and flopped, where he's been in his face. He's not been in his face, where he's calling names.
He's always like that.
So now Tyson Fury, nothing's working for him. So now they've got to depend on pure skill. All that skullduggery before has gone. It's out the window. Look at this man here. Tyson Fury's trying to get in his face and thinking, I want a reaction. He's not giving it him. Usyk's just not giving him what he wants. So who will that impress? Who will leave an impression on? Will leave more of an impression on Tyson Fury, thinking that's the last roll of the dice I've got to get in this fella's head. Now it's about skill.
You think he's thinking that's my last chance to get in his head and see if it works? There's so many layers this fight. It's a bit like an onion, isn't it? You can peel them back. A lot of the talk has been around Usyk and whether or not he's vulnerable to the body. That was after the Daniel Dubois fight. What do you think, Dave, on that?
It doesn't. Listen, none of us like getting it with body shots. Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
when you get hit to the body, it's one of those things that you're just not comfortable with it. A lot of people are more comfortable taking shots to the head than the body. Does it mean that he goes down every time he gets hit? No, because he's good enough to take that away from you, and he's also good enough just to ride the situation out. But is it the chink in his armour compared to everything else? And you would say, yeah, I thought that when I was looking at Tony Bellew fighting him. You know, that was a one thing when I seen him dropped in the amateurs. You think, because you can't see anything else that's a weakness, you see that, you go, right, okay. But is it as big a thing as what everybody thinks it is? Maybe not.
Oh, we'll find out tomorrow night, won't we? As you saw, things are kicking off a bit in Jeddah. Should we head back out there? Let's do that. Let's rejoin Andy and the gang to get some final thoughts. Andy.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of energy up on that stage, and one or two people will go and fly in. Delighted to say that my two guests are firmly rooted on our presentation platform. What do we know? What on earth do we know? So
I thought he got it wrong. I thought the announcers got that wrong. He ain't come in 16 stone 9, 12 pounds heavier than he's ever been.
Yeah, so that is a career heaviest. Has he got some fishing weights in there? Like Johnny said, is the chain is a real authentic chain to weigh that much, isn't it, Fraser?
Well, I mean, I know it was a big chain, but I'm not sure it was that big. We all looked at each other in disbelief. Is that his weight? We've been double checking and triple checking, and like Matt said, and Johnny, surely there's some in his pockets, or is he? He doesn't look that much bigger.
No, but we're talking about two of the best mind game artists and pranksters in all of world boxing, let alone the heavyweight division. If he's somehow managed to put a bit of weight on just for this weigh-in, be it in the socks or the trousers.
Well, he can put weights in his pockets, can't he?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Because he doesn't look like he's put 12 pound on. He still looks in good shape, you know.
So if he has, what does that mean? If that is his weight, which we're only speculating that it's not, but if that is his weight, what is he doing? Is he coming in?
He's not
going
to be mobile, is he? So you're going to think he's going to stand his ground more. That's the only thing I can read from it. If he has really come in that heavier, because then you think, well, is he really going to stand and have a physical fight with Fury? Because he's still giving a couple of stone away.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that doesn't. Just for a clever tactician, that doesn't seem very clever tactics to me.
Well, there's about 20 talking points from up there, and actually probably not top of the list is Fury's weight, but 18 stone 10, good weight for him. That's sort of the Tom Schwartz weigh-in almost.
Yeah. Can we just forget about that for 1 second? The intensity that Fury came down with then, he was like a prime raised Mike Tyson for a minute. I seen him coming down from afar, bare-chested, about 10 yards in front of his team, almost sprinting to get on that stage. He meant business, and I liked it. That's the first time we've seen that from this week, and I think it's some real good sign going into tomorrow night. I think has it swayed my prediction? I'm not sure, but I think he's going to go in there and try and destroy Usyk.
Well, we all mean business, but none of us are taking our tops off. Back to you guys.
Live coverage on Sky Sports Box Office gets underway from 4 p.m. on Saturday. The fight is available to Sky residential customers in the UK and Ireland. Virgin Media and EETV customers, please contact your operator. Go to skysports.com/box office for more information. Just to confirm as well, it is Riyadh, not Jeddah. Have no idea where that came from. We're talking about Riyadh all week. Are you expecting, do you think this fight could potentially be controversial?
Yeah, there's all the ingredients in there for it. Yeah. I actually believe that Usyk, with what's on the line, and we shouldn't say it, but what's on the line and what the potential going forward is, I think Usyk's got to win really clearly in order to get a points decision out there.
27 hours to go. I'm not counting. 27 hours to go for excitement. Why would I think it's controversial? Because if the pressure is on Tyson Fury, he will revert back to type. He's openly admitted to using the elbow on Ngannou. We've seen him use the forearm. We've seen him push it. And if Usyk's people do the right job, if Usyk's people say keep an eye on him, referee, make sure you keep on top of him. Don't let him push. Don't let him use the elbow. This is not a premeditated thing from Tyson Fury. He will do it instinctively. There's going to be controversy when it comes to the decision.
Well, all of you at home are pretty much, there's a lot of you going for Tyson Fury by knockout. What are you thinking happens, Dave?
Do you know what? The weigh-in, I've been saying I just want to wait for the weigh-in.
Stick to it, son.
Yeah, but this is what I'm coming to, is I thought, if Usyk is a little bit leaner, a little bit lighter, then he's lighter, sharper, he gets his mobility more, I would favour him. I was thinking, if he's like 15.5, 15.8, I'm looking at the numbers there, I'm thinking, my head's just gone. I'm thinking, because I don't believe that that's his weight, but I don't know what his weight is. So I don't know, I just want to see the fight. I haven't got a clue right now.
That's not an answer, Dave Coldwell. That is called sitting on the fence. Johnny Nelson.
I'm sure about sitting on the fence. I think it's going to be a controversial points win for Tyson Fury. So does that means he might not deserve it, but he'll get the win?
One thing is for sure, it's going to be a brilliant night, a really, really special night, and one to remember for many years to come. Thank you, chaps, for joining us. That's it. That's all the talking done. It is all eyes on fight night and a chance for Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Join us from 4 on Sky Sports Box Office tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.